Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord. Say it!
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Unpopular Opinion. And today, guys, I'm going to be counting down my top 5 favorite Clint Eastwood movies. We're going to be starting at number 5, and we're going to work our way up to number 1, and I'll reveal my favorite Clint Eastwood movie. Guys, Clint Eastwood is one of my favorite actors. He is a beloved icon of American cinema. I truly think he's one of the manliest men to have ever walked the earth, and I also think he's a great role model for young men and boys to look up to. If you ever want a lesson in masculinity or macho-ness, machismo, you watch any Clint Eastwood movie, except for Paint Your Wagon. We do not talk about that one. We don't condone what he did in Paint Your Wagon. I digress. Guys, I'm going to be counting down my top 5 favorite Clint Eastwood movies. And, well, you might be asking, why are you doing this? Well, you see, in this world, there are 2 types of people, my friend. Those who don't subscribe and those who do. You do. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe, but let's just get right into the list, guys. Starting off this list with number 5, we have the outlaw Josie Wales.
Why, you're gonna pull those pistols or whistle Dixie?
Guys, the outlaw Josie Wales is one of the greatest westerns ever. I think it is Clint Eastwood really at one of his best. Not only did he star in the movie, but he also directed it. The direction in this movie was phenomenal. The performances were stellar. The action was pretty cool. The frontier shots were amazing. The Outlaw Josie Wales is much more than your typical Wild West shoot-'em-up movie. In fact, in my opinion, I think Josie Wales is a really solid Civil War film. It's not just about the frontier. It's about what the Civil War did to this country and how people out west had to deal with the carnage of the country tearing itself apart.
I guess we all died a little in that damn war.
There's a lot you can learn from it. I really like the fact that Josie Wales, well, you might not agree with what he did, but at least you can understand why he did what he did, and that's what just makes him such a great character. The action was stellar. The quotes were amazing. Josie Wales was awesome. I think The Outlaw Josie Wales is a solid movie following the story of a Missouri farmer whose family was killed by the Union during the Civil War.
You'll find them up in Kansas. They're with the Union.
And in order to get justice to avenge his family, he decides to join up with Confederate guerrillas. And then he fights the war.
We're going up there and set things right.
I'll be coming with you.
But when the war's over, he doesn't want to surrender, so he's wanted by the government and he flees out west. And the rest of the movie is his ride to redemption as he makes new friends along the way and forms a surrogate family. He travels the west in order to flee the government, but also to redeem himself. And it's a beautiful film starring Clint Eastwood. Great movie. Guys, number 4, we have the Dollars trilogy.
You're not gonna give me the same treatment? Would you talk? No, probably not.
Guys, there's a reason why I'm wearing the Man with No Name costume. I mean, this... The Man with No Name is my favorite movie character of all time. In terms of favorite Clint Eastwood movies, I'm just going to put the trilogy as a whole at number 4. Now, it's true, I'm not crazy about The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Oh. But the first 2 were stellar, phenomenal films that I love dearly.
There seems to be a family resemblance.
Naturally. Between brother and sister.
And I've actually talked about The Man with No Name many times on my channel. I've even made 3 videos on The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but I think the first 2 are better, and that's really why this is on the list. So The Man with No Name is my favorite movie character. He's played expertly by Clint Eastwood. He's a mysterious, poncho-wearing gunslinger who shows up, says a few words, kicks a lot of butt, and then just leaves.
So long. Adios.
And you, the people he encounters, and the audience are just in awe of his badassery and macho, manly cowboy antics. It is so cool. The first movie, Fistful of Dollars, is a fantastic film with great plot. It's kind of hard to deny the influence that the Dollars trilogy, the Man with No Name trilogies had on the Western genre. Even though they're spaghetti Westerns, and at the time they weren't really well received by critics, audiences love them. And the theme song for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is basically the Wild West's national anthem. And the man with no name is such a compelling character because nobody plays the anti-hero like Clint Eastwood does. So he shows up, he says a few words, kills a bunch of people. And a lot of the times he's in the moral gray area. His morality is very ambiguous. And really, there are only 2 times in the series where he actually showcases any sort of humanity or charity or compassion. Because, you know, at the end of the day, he will do the right thing and help those in need if he can, if he chooses to. But realistically, we don't know anything about this guy. He's a mystery. We just know him by his mannerisms, his abilities, and his awesome look. The first movie was an amazing story. The second movie was just super, super intense with intensity, high stakes drama. And the third movie, like I said, not crazy about it, but it is still a very good film that features pretty intriguing characters. So, guys, that's why Clint Eastwood's performance in the Dollars trilogy will always be why The Man with No Name is my favorite movie character and among some of his greatest work. So that's why the Dollars trilogy is firmly at number 4.
What about a partnership? Maybe next time.
Number 3, guys, we have $1 Million Baby.
Stop. The hell are you doing?
Guys, Clint Eastwood nailed 2 Oscars for this movie, and he got himself a nomination. So he won Best Director, and he won Best Picture. He got nominated for Best Actor. And it just goes to show you, this movie's a brilliant film. And Clint Eastwood, I always say, he's like an artistic fine wine. His best movies come from his later years. He starts out with a great career and it just gets better and better and better, and I think $1 Million Baby and a few other movies on this list are proof of that. So $1 Million Baby is not the typical Clint Eastwood movie. In fact, it's very, very unique. Clint Eastwood owns a gym, a boxing gym, and he's a boxing trainer, and so this isn't really like an action type of film. It's not a film where Clint Eastwood's Mr. Tough Guy. He's training a female boxer who he forms a special bond with, and through tragedy, there's a lot of heartfelt drama and emotion in this. And the reason why I say this is super unique for a Clint Eastwood film is, well, it just goes to show you that he's not just an action star. If you want, or if he wants to, if you want to see him in a hardcore drama, this just proves that he can actually act.
I can't. Please. Please don't ask me.
There's this one scene in the movie where he's in the church and the priest is consoling him, and Clint Eastwood is crying, like hardcore crying, which is something you never see in a Clint Eastwood movie, and he's just breaking down. It's fantastic stuff. It also has a great supporting cast with Morgan Freeman, Jay Baruchel, and Morgan Freeman landed his first and only Oscar, which was very well deserved.
You're damn right.
The story was awesome, performances were sharp, the direction was fantastic, the music, the editing. Guys, this is a very unique Clint Eastwood movie, but it's also stellar. And not only do I think it's one of his best movies, I think it's one of the best movies to have won the Best Picture Academy Award. It's a phenomenal boxing film, and Clint Eastwood delivers one of the greatest performances of his career. So $1 Million Baby is number 3. Number 2 is Gran Torino.
And you know why? Because you're a big fat pussy.
Guys, Gran Torino is such a phenomenal film, and like I said, Clint Eastwood, his art and his skills age like fine wine, because the older he gets, the better films he makes. So Gran Torino is a fantastic movie, and it is about Clint Eastwood. He plays a widower, his wife just died, and he's a bitter, miserable Korean War veteran. He's a very racist guy, very bigoted man, and unfortunately for him, his neighborhood is dominated by Asian Americans who he despises.
Stay right there. Stay right there. Why can't you people just leave me alone?
More specifically, the Hmong community. I probably butchered that. You can roast me in the comments if you want. Sue me. I got it wrong. He doesn't really have a good relationship with his family, and he encounters a young Asian kid who's his neighbor, and at first they have a really contentious relationship because he tried to steal his car, but then Clint Eastwood takes him under his wing, teaches him how to be a man, teaches him how to stand up for himself.
What's up, you old Italian prick?
What the hell are you doing? Have you lost your mind?
How to be self-sufficient, how to use tools. Basically becomes a father figure to this young, troubled youth who doesn't have a solid male role model in his life. And through his relationship with this kid, not only does Clint Eastwood overcome a lot of his prejudices and he lets go of a lot of his racial bigotry, but it also helps him come to terms with the horrors of war that he encountered in his past. His service in Korea left him traumatized and scarred, and his friendship with this young kid helped him immensely. He was able to rediscover his faith, go back to the Catholic Church, and make peace with his past and make peace with the people in his community who he was, in the end, proud to call his friend, or proud to call his friends.
And you're a good man.
I'm not a good man.
Not only does Gran Torino have a lot of really funny, quotable Clint Eastwood one-liners, but it also has a lot of serious, heartfelt drama in it and really sharp dialogue. And it's not an action film. Don't expect to see flashy action or anything like that. But what you see is like an old school, small town, conservative type of film where Clint Eastwood's character is like an all-American who eventually lightens up and overcomes his own demons in the process. So it's a great movie, great film. And there's a lot of life lessons you can extract from it. And like I said in the intro, Clint Eastwood is a great role model for young guys to look up to. If you want to be a manly man, if you want to learn how to be a man, Clint Eastwood's your guy. So this kid got an education from the master. Gran Torino is such a great movie and is one of the best Clint Eastwood films.
I gotta go. Good day, puss cake.
Well, now, before we get to number 1, I do want to say there is an honorable mention. Unfortunately, 5 is not enough. It's not a big enough number to capture all of the great films from Clint Eastwood's resume. But unfortunately, this honorable mention didn't make the list, but it is worth mentioning. In the Line of Fire is such a great movie.
You're under arrest.
And that's my honorable mention. In the Line of Fire, solid Clint Eastwood film. Okay, guys, number 1, drum roll, please. We have Unforgiven.
I ain't gonna kill you. You're the only friend I got.
Unforgiven is, without a doubt, my favorite Clint Eastwood movie, and it is, in my opinion, I think it is the greatest Western film ever made. Period. No question. No discussion. No opinion. That is a fact. Unforgiven's the greatest Western ever made.
Keep going! Did you get him?
So let's get into the nitty-gritties as to why I think this is. Well, first of all, 3 out of my top 5 favorite actors appear in this movie. Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, and Morgan Freeman. 3 of my favorite actors of all time in my top 5 in one movie. That's bound to make amazing cinema. And it did. The performances between these 3 were stellar. Gene Hackman won his 2nd Oscar. Guys, I'm a massive fan of Gene Hackman. You know this. I've made a lot of videos featuring him. He got his well-deserved 2nd Oscar for Best Supporting Actor.
This is the kind of trash
And then Clint Eastwood, he nabbed his 1st Oscar and his 2nd Oscar for this film. And he got nominated for Best Actor, which he should have won. But, you know, Al Pacino, he did. The Academy screwed him over a couple times, so Pacino got his win. But either way, Clint Eastwood won Best Director and Best Picture, rightfully so. So this movie is about Clint Eastwood. He's an aged gunslinger and really bad man from the past. He's a very, very bad man, and he's called upon by a young, boastful kid to go on one last ride. And what we have is the perfect example of a movie that blurs the line between good and evil. So this is like the complete, like this is like a total sobering hot take on the Wild West, where it very much blurs the line between good guys and bad guys. And our supposed hero, William Money, Clint Eastwood's character, he's really not the hero. He's an anti-villain.
Any man don't want to get killed. Better clear on out the back.
And it's not something we hear about. We hear about anti-heroes, but this guy's the anti-villain. So you think he's a good guy, you think he's turned his life over, and you think that he's no longer a bad man and that his old age has cured him of wickedness, but then the end, he reverts, and it's insane. Like, this guy is really cruel and malicious.
I don't deserve this. To die like this. Deserves got nothing to do with it.
But then the guy who we're tricked into thinking the villain, Gene Hackman's character, he's really not the villain. He might be doing villainous things.
You been talking about the Queen again? On Independence Day?
But the villainous things he's doing is for a good purpose, to keep people safe and to keep bad people out of his town. And this movie brilliantly shows the real life consequences of violence. So usually in Western films, you'll see cowboys do quick draw gunfights, and it's like, all right, well, what happens next? Oh, nothing. But no, there's consequences to violence, whether that be moral consequences.
Well,
Can't have forever, you back-shooting bastard!
well,
or legal ones. So we see criminal actions to people who do gunslinging activities in this movie, which is a sobering reality of the Wild West, that there were law enforcement men out there who tried to tame these bad people. And then also, it's very easy for people to watch a movie and think, all right, you know, the hero just killed a man, no big deal. But killing someone is really, really an intense thing, and it's gonna take a toll on you, and it's gonna take a toll on your soul. And good people don't just go around killing people willy-nilly. So it really shows that our heroes from Western movies, like you see, that's not real. If you kill someone, you're going to feel emotionally ruined, and if you're not, you're a bad person.
Don't seem real. I ain't gonna never breathe again, ever.
William Money, brilliant. And the ending showdown is the greatest gunfight in Western history.
Misfire. Kill us, bitch.
The dialogue, the way Clint Eastwood's character just unfolds and comes full circle before our eyes. I could do a whole video talking about why I think Unforgiven is a genius film, why it takes everything you thought you knew, or the romance of the Western genre, and just flops it on its head, and you're just left in awe of like, oh wow.
Just hold it right there. Hold it!
Imagine Santa's not real, but then Santa comes to your house, steals the cookies, and then burns your house down, and you're like, Santa?
You're a cowardly son of a bitch. You just shot an unarmed man.
Well, he should have armed himself. He's gonna decorate his saloon with my friend.
That's the closest way I can explain it. Now, I should say, I really do think that you can really truly only appreciate this film if you watch it after you've watched basically every other Clint Eastwood Western film. So you gotta watch him in Rawhide, you gotta watch the Dollars trilogy, Josie Wales, Pale Rider, High Plains Drifter, all that stuff. And you can see other Westerns too, to really build up this image in your mind of the romance of the Wild West, or the manly toughness of Clint Eastwood's characters who are morally ambiguous. And then you watch this movie, it's very disarming, and in the end, you're gonna be like, whoa.
You'd be William Money out of Missouri. Killing women and children.
That's right. I've killed women and children.
Now I can appreciate this. It comes full circle.
Killed just about everything that walks or crawled at one time or another. And I'm here to kill you, little Bill.
His final Westerns, his best Western, because of all the experiences he's had in his other Westerns, really make this phenomenal. I know I spent a little bit of time on this, but Unforgiven truly is Clint Eastwood's magnum opus. It is the greatest movie that Clint Eastwood has ever made. It is the greatest Western ever made. It's one of the best movies that has won Best Picture ever made. Speech impediment, I said that sloppy, but it still stands. And it's one of the best movies of all time. It is a masterpiece. So, the greatest Clint Eastwood movie is firmly Unforgiven. Well, guys, that's all I have for you. Those are my top 5 favorite Clint Eastwood movies. What did you think of the list? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Well, comment below to let me know. What is your favorite Clint Eastwood movie? Also, what's your favorite Western movie? Because most of the movies on this list were Western films, so obviously I want to hear your opinions on that. Guys, I made a really cringy video a few years ago, my top 5 favorite Westerns. I still recommend you check it out. My opinions haven't changed, but a lot of those movies were movies on this list because Clint Eastwood's the king of Western, in my opinion. So like I said, those are my top 5 favorite Clint Eastwood movies. The manliest man in cinema history. The man that every young man should look up to. Every young man should be taking lessons on masculinity from Clint Eastwood because, guys, Clint Eastwood's the man. Because hell's coming to breakfast. Well, that's all I have for you guys. Remember to like this video. Remember, 1 like can go a long way, and it really, really helps me out. It costs you nothing to do so. So please, right now, hit that like, hit that subscribe, comment below to let me know what you think. Also, check me out on Instagram. That's going to be linked in the description below. Please give me a follow. And, well, that's all I have for you guys. And if you're feeling lucky, punks, I'll see you in the next Unpopular Opinion.